So before I begin, I need to confess, I'm not really a big fan of EPs. That doesn't mean I don't like them, I just prefer listening to music on an album. That being said, it doesn't mean I still can't enjoy me some good EPs. And we have a new addition to one of today's prog legends of Big Big Train, so let's dive in. Wassail is the latest release from the English progressive legendary band Big Big Train, and it is actually a pretty good EP, and this is even coming from a guy that doesn't actually like EPs all that much. Overall, the feeling I get when I'm listening to this EP is one of warmth. The music right from the get-go is very, very warm and very, very deep and rich. If you've heard of anything from Big Big Train before, you're getting a lot of those signature sounds. If you haven't, the songs are flooding with big and meaty keyboards and synthesizers and organs, and really tasty guitar hooks as well, with a crazy insane drumming going on in the background and amazing vocals. So the EP really has 4 songs, all of which last around 6 minutes. And as EPs go, it's a good running time. The thing I always love about BBT is just you can plant yourself into any song at any time and really enjoy the moment. So let's dive a little bit deeper and get into the nitty-gritty parts of this EP. So the EP opens up with the title track of Wassail, and it may be my favorite track on the album. It's definitely a side A song, if that makes any sense. I love the energy that's going through the entire song. It never loses momentum, even in those slower parts. It's warm, it's really deep, and it's a kind of a retelling of the Garden of Eden, that being banished. And it's almost an ode to that apple tree that started it all off. So I really do love the concept of this song. Even though this tree that carried with it the fruit that got us all knocked out of Eden, it's still the bringer of nourishment now for us. It was also what gave us knowledge. And I love kind of playing with that concept in my mind while I'm listening to this song, especially with a lot of those themes and concepts that they keep bringing to us, like the apple of my eye and all the different playing arounds of images with the apples and knowledge. It's just really delicious. Then we come to the other A song on this album, Lost Rivers of London. If Wassail painted the band's ability to create great music and a great musical environment with deep concepts and rich imagery, then Lost Rivers of London shows the other side of the band that I love, and that's their ability to shake up the music and just change the landscape. The song starts off simply enough, but a minute in, it changes tempo right out of nowhere. It goes from that happy walking along song to a very heartfelt and almost melancholy reflection of a piece, and then straight back again without really skipping a beat. And unlike a lot of songs that do this switching back and forth, it doesn't feel forced and it doesn't feel fake. It feels very, very natural.
You can hear the river flow.
And of course, I love these heartfelt pieces that Big Big Train is really able to do. And this one is no exception. It's that reflection of what was and what is and what it could be. And coupled with this, the great playing on different instruments. I love that around the halfway mark, you have a synthesized flute buildup. And they have this kind of a guitar wah-wah going on in the background that I really, really like, that's carrying the beat forward. And then once again, we have that shake-up that almost sounds like Chariots from Sid Arthur. I love that part, and that leads right through the end. And I love these 2 songs of Wassail and Lost Rivers of London, and really showing what the band is capable of. Where Wassail was perfectly fine staying where it was and just hunkering down and playing some really amazing music, we have the Lost Rivers of London, which never sat still at all, and it was always kind of shaking things up, very much like a river. So after those 2 pieces, we kind of have the flip side. We have the typical B side of a music. First up, we had Mudlarks. Essentially, it's an instrumental piece. It's good hearing these guys just open up and play. I could totally see the song, when being played live, stripping it down to a very acoustic set. and almost having a smoky jazz bar feel to it, and then slowly building in with more of the electronic side of things. But as it is right now, it's a great instrumental piece. There are some harmonies going on, and we do have some singing going on, but for the most part, it is just a jam session, and it's a really good showcasing of what the band is capable of. And then we have kind of a live recording of Master James at St. George. It doesn't really feel like a live recording, as it doesn't sound like it was in front of anybody or in front of any audience at all. I have a feeling it was one of those in the studio kind of recordings where they just played through the whole track in one go. I do love these kinds of takes where it's more organic. You really feel the musicianship and the energy that's flowing from these guys. I love hearing those harmonizations and those harmonies that the band is able to create. And knowing that it's not just the lead singer overdubbing himself, it's the whole band that's coming together. I think the highlight of this song for me though is really the drumming. It was something that I thought was lacking in the other 3 songs. Big Big Train for me always had a really hard-hitting and amazing drumming going through a lot of the tracks. It's a whirlwind at times, and it really sucks you in, and I felt like it was lacking a little bit on the EP. Luckily for this last song, it really shines through and really gave me that drumming track that I was expecting from the band. On this particular song itself, there's not a whole lot of lyrical content. It's mainly just a jam session with the boys, and we're kind of along for the ride. And it is a fun ride, as well as the overall feeling of the EP itself. You can definitely feel which songs had more emphasis, and which ones were just a really great jam session that the boys really wanted to just lay down and put on an album. And as I said at the beginning, I'm not a big fan of EPs, but I am glad I picked this guy up. And that's really it from this. There's only really 4 songs, so there's not a whole lot that I can dive into, but what there is a lot to dive into. So what did you guys think? Did you guys have a listen of this? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you feel kind of indifferent? Let me know down below. And that's it. Notes out.